Okay, welcome back to my LAMP stack journey. So we already have successfully launched our Linux operating system. So okay, let me grab the IP address, and we need to now do some more configuration on our Linux server. So let's first log into the Linux as a root user. So type yes and provide the password that we configured before. Okay, so we are in. The first thing to do is update our Linux operating system. So apt update okay, after we updated this, let's create a user, a dedicated user. I will call it a user called admin. Give it a password. Okay, so let's make that user admin a admin. So by granting a sudo privilege, user mod append to the group sudo and admin. Now what you can do is we can log out and log back in as admin user. Write the password, we are in. Okay, this is good, but to secure our Linux server, we want to disable root access, as well as it's best practice to make password. We can access this server with our password. So how can we do that? Well, let me show you how to do that. Okay, to do that, first of all, we can log out from here. So in my local laptop, in my PC, I already have set up SSH-Key. I already have generated that SSH key. So I will show you how to generate that SSH key here. To generate the SSH key, SSH key gen, type RSA bit 4096, hit enter. So since I already have created the key and saved in the default folder, so I will just go with yes, hit enter, and it's asking me to override because I already have created, right? Yes. And enter pass press, I'm not doing anything at the moment. Hit enter, yes. So I have generated RSA key pairs. I need to pass that out of two key. I have a private key and a public key. I need to pass the public key to my remote server. So I can do that by this command, ssh copy id, and our user is admin, and provide the IP address. So we need to provide the password for admin. Okay, all good. Now let's try to log in now. SSH admin this password, and you see now I don't need password. I don't need to provide password to access my server, right? This is good. So now we can go ahead and disable password based authentication and remote root access. So to do that, sudo, we need to edit the file. The file lives in this directory etc ssh let's use bi editing tool ssh config. Yeah, so let's look for permit root login. Yeah, hit enter and set this to no. Escape, and also look for password based authentication. Hit enter and set it to no. And now finally save the configuration. Now we need to restart the service, so sudo service service ssh restart. So let's check if the service is running properly. Service ssh status, yes, it's running active. So let's check if it is listening on port 22. Sudo /tab grep ssh, and we can see it's listening on his default port, SSH port. Okay, that all's good. Now what you can do is we can log out and try to log in as a root and see what happens. Definitely now root access is disabled, so hacker can't access our server as a root. That's a good thing. The second thing is, let's say if I use any user, let's say random user, usually it should prompt for the password, but I think if I hit enter, it will not prompt for me the password. Yes, permission denied, right? So if we haven't disabled that password based authentication, it would prompt for the password and then it would deny definitely. But now it's password, it doesn't have it need any password, so it will directly deny it. So let's log in as an admin user, and we are in. Now the first thing we want to do here is set up host name. Okay, so sudo hostname ctl set host name. I want to call it Apache server, right? Apache server, and the password, and also let's edit its host file. Before we edit its host file, let's grab its IP address from here. That's the IP address, and sudo nano etc host, and let's copy paste the IP address, and name of the server is Apache server. Control O, hit enter, Control X. So we should be able to ping now Apache server. So we can see we are able to ping our Apache server. That's good. Control C. So to make our name, the host name, effective, we can log out and log back in, and it should be updated. Yeah, it's changed. Now its host name is Apache server. So what is the another thing that we need to do on Linux to pave a way for deploying and building our web application? Another thing that we need to do here is configure the firewall, right? So let's configure the firewall. I'm going to use UFW, uncomplicated firewall. So sudo apt install UFW. Now, so right now we can access this server from Yeah, so this server doesn't have any firewall, but we need to set the rules, right? So what I want to do is I want to deny anything incoming first, then allow anything outgoing, and then open the firewall. Let's say allow SSH connection, and then also, since we only want HTTP traffic to come into our server, so we will allow for HTTP traffic. Okay, so sudo ufw default allow outgoing traffic, right? Outgoing, yes, and sudo ufw default deny incoming, and let's also enable ufw allow SSH. This is very important. And finally, you have to allow HTTP traffic. Since in future we are planning to use let's encrypt to get this certificate authority, so let's also enable HTTPS traffic. Now we can make the changes effective by sudo ufw enable, yes, and we can check by the command. We can check which rules are effective by ufw status. We can see now port 22 allow, port 80 for HTTP allow, 443 for HTTPS. That's good. So we have finished with configuring Linux for hosting our web server. In the second video, I will show you how to tackle with Apache, and then we will be configuring Apache to host multiple sites. Okay, then see you in the next video.